Barakate Hawa, Barakate Hawa Shai. I want to start by saying Shalom to the sincere brothers out there that's laboring in this truth, that are of the hopeful elect. This is basically like an exhortation to brothers out there, especially right now, the younger brothers coming in that are, freshly learning and, that really don't know everything that's going on. There's going to be situations where you're going to have certain men that come into this truth that are crept in unawares, as it says in the book of Jude. And their intentions are not to really do the work of the Lord in sincerity. Like the Apostle Paul said to the Philippians, there's some that do this work sincerely, and then there's some that do this work not sincerely. And there's, when you come into the knowledge, there is order, and that's what the ranking system is set up for order. That's why it says in Hebrews 13 and 17, it says, obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they that must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you. Now that's the attitude and the actions of a true leader, pretty much, would do these things to watch over brothers' souls. But unfortunately, you have those that come into this thing and abuse that power, as you have seen time and time again. Even in that movie, The Book of Eli, there was a point where Gary Oldman was speaking, and the guy called it's just a stupid book, and he cursed him out. He said, no, it's not just a stupid book, it's a weapon, And he said, if you want to control more than just this one small stinky town, we need the book, because the people will believe it if it says in the word, so people will use it for deceptive measures. That's what the scriptures also say, that they would do it. They would serve their own belly. These guys are serving their own bellies, and that's why they're doing it. And brothers out there that believe in the truth, that have faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai, they're looking to their leaders to guide them. And they're not looking, that they're not thinking in their mind that these men that they deem as being men of the Lord would lead them down the wrong path. And that's why they'll pretty much be willing to do anything for them, not being foolish, but because they really love Yahweh Bashem Shai, and they love the order that was set up. And seeing that the guy knows, the knowledge, they tend to be very frank and very open with him, but that's where it's the leader's job to make sure that he's not abusing that power, and all you have to do is look at the examples that were set through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai by the apostles and elders, from New York. You don't see them doing stuff like that, But my exhortation to you brothers out there, is don't give all your personal information. If anybody asks for your personal information, like your name, your social security number, bank accounts, and things of that nature, don't give that information out. You're not supposed to be giving information like that out to anybody. Now if a brother wants to order a book offline and they may not have a credit card or whatever, they'll give you the money, and you do it on your computer. You order the stuff for the brothers. You don't give your information out like that, because this is what happens. That greed and and them demons will do things and then have your account all messed up. Because all these every man that you see Even amongst great millstone, every man that you see in great millstone is not a man of the Lord. The Apostle Paul said that there were going to be grievous wolves that were going to enter in among the sheep and not spare the sheep and not spare the flock. So this is Sirach 33 and 19. It says, give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest they repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again. So you can't give anybody power over your substance. You can't give any man, woman, your mother, your father, your brothers, even leaders in the truth, not the apostles, not the elders, and camp heads, camp leaders, none of that. You're not supposed to give them your information like that. So this is a lesson learned here in Atlanta with these brothers that trusted this man so much, because we all had love for the guy, man, and that's why it hurts so much, that you have so much love for this person and they turn around and betray you like that, and you wouldn't expect them to betray you. But this is it's a learning curve, Unfortunately, we have to go through those things, but just count it all joy, because it's an experience that you're not going to forget, and it's a mistake that you're not going to make again, and it serves, as a lesson, so that other brothers out there that may be watching don't make the same mistakes. I always say the crime is not committing the penalty, or how do I put it? The crime is not making a mistake. The crime is not learning from your mistake. And I always keep that in mind. We're gonna all fuck up. We're gonna all go off. Because as long as we're in the flesh, we're gonna go off. That's why we need Yahushua to come and deliver us from these bodies, these chains of darkness. But the point is, we have to learn from our mistakes. And you younger brothers coming into this thing, if you have anybody, I don't care who it is, asking you for your personal information, do not give it out to them. Because this is what happens. The abuse comes. Them demons come. The greed, and you have guys that are really don't have good intentions. All they're about is themselves. And what they can gain from you. And they'll be slick in their tongue to woo you. To get a personal gain from you. And it's not right, but it happens, unfortunately. Let me go to the next precept. It's in the book of Sirach, same book. The book of Sirach, the 9th chapter. Just bear with me 1 second. Sirach, the 9th chapter. Let me see. Sirach, the 9th chapter, and the 2nd verse. It says, give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. See, not even your woman is supposed to have power over your substance. But the main thing is, don't give out any of your personal information to anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter how good it sounds, or how smooth, and charming it may seem. Because this guy Yaradan was a very charming dude. He was a very charismatic dude. And he was able to woo women, men, and all that with his tongue. He's a serpent. And brothers fell for the trap. So you brothers out there that's newly coming into this thing, or that have been in this thing not that long and see what's going on, just don't make that mistake of giving out your information. And the brothers here in Atlanta should not have given out that information. But see, you have to actually be there and experience that. You got people on the comment board talking shit to brothers. Why were you so stupid and this, that, and other? Yeah, it's easy to say that from your perspective where you're at now. But you have to understand the perspective that these men were in. The oppression that they were under. Being told by this man that they trusted, that if you don't do this, the apostles are going to do that, the elders are going to do this, the elder said this, and all it was a bunch of lies that this guy used, to try to manipulate brothers, out of their living, out of their stuff, So unless you were ever in that predicament, where you trusted someone so much that no matter what, you would do what they say, then you can't talk, you know? You can't talk. You can't say that, these brothers were foolish for that, which they shouldn't have put that much trust in this man first and foremost, but he was a guide to them. The guy knew the scriptures, backwards and forwards, but the point is that he didn't apply the scriptures, That's what the scriptures say: to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So he has the greatest sin and the greatest condemnation, because these men really believed in you, but it's all good, because like I said, it's a learning experience. Brothers now learning, and the brothers here in Atlanta are beautiful brothers, man, and that's what what really I'm at a loss for words. That's what really pisses you off, but them brothers learned a valuable lesson. It was an expensive lesson, but it was a valuable lesson, because I bet you nobody else will be able to do that to them again. So it's back in Sirach 92, give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. Now what I want to do is, real quick, just want to go to the book of Proverbs, the first chapter. I'm going to end it there because, it's not, it's an exhortation, just a thing of watch out for these grievous wolves that are coming, and you remember, when you read the Bible, the scriptures are admonitions for us, they're corrections, reproofs, comforts, just things just things that will guide us. And whenever we find ourselves in a low position, we turn to the scriptures, for comfort, after all is said and done, because sometimes your mind may be in turmoil for a moment, because this truth could be overwhelming at times, so you might find yourself in a position where you might be overwhelmed, or your mind may be in turmoil. But once the storm is calmed, then you can go back and reflect and go, into the scriptures and comfort your spirit, because that's what the scriptures are, as a comforter. All right, this is the book of Proverbs. I'm gonna just start at the first verse, read down a little bit. Proverbs 1:1. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding. See, that's the thing. It's not about knowing, it's about also applying. Because it says to know wisdom and instruction. So the Bible has wisdom, it has knowledge, it has instructions, right? But it says to perceive the words of understanding, meaning to be able to actually understand what's being said and to actually put it into motion. Because if you understand it, you're going to put it into motion, right? It says to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. And these things are supposed to make us wiser, and are supposed to make us better leaders, and better examples. It says to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple. See, and that's the thing, to give subtlety to the simple. Because simple is somebody that's just doing something without even knowing what the hell is going on. They're just in their innocence, so to speak. Because they really, it's just like when you're a child, right? And you're thirsty, and you ask your mother or your father for something to drink, and they have orange juice, but it's not enough orange juice. It's just enough orange juice to put a little bit in the bottle, and then they add water to stretch it out. When you give it to the baby's not gonna know any different. All they know is just it was thirsty and they got something to drink. So the baby is simple, but you as a parent, you're not doing it to harm him. You're just doing it because he's thirsty. You want to give him a little extra because there wasn't enough juice there. So it's the same thing with brothers coming to the truth. They're like babies, they're in their simplicity, but you can't let these men that's into this thing that are trying to use you like that. You can't give them power over your substance. Do not give out your personal information. All right. And Let me see. It says, a wise man will hear. I'm sorry, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young men knowledge and discretion, because that's what this is. The scriptures are something to build us up, to walk to walk in a better path, and to teach others to walk in that path. That may be also part of the hopeful elect. You know, because like it says in Timothy, it says, give heed to these things, to the doctrine, that you may save your soul and the soul of others. You know, it says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. To understand the proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. But in this walk that we're walking, you're gonna have to have experiences that you've gone through, so that you're not. If somebody asks you advice or asks you something in the scriptures, when you're breaking it down to them, you're not breaking it down to them just because you read it in the book. You're breaking it down to them because you've actually experienced these things. You've actually been tried out, which is what the word experience means. You've actually been tried out, you know? So, let this be a valuable lesson to brothers out there. Once again, I just keep saying it. Do not give your personal information to anybody. Your name, your social security number, your credit card, especially your social security number, your credit cards and all that, because your name, that they really can't do much with that unless they have all of your other information. But don't give them none of that personal information, no bank accounts, no nothing. All right, so with that, I hope brothers been edified. Until the next time, I say shalom.